no. What did I do? Hello. I'm seated like this because I'm stretching my legs because one of my feet, hey Bacano, one of my feet is hurting. I don't know if I have an issue with my toenail or what, but this toe has been bothering me. So I'm keeping my feet up a bit. This is why I'm seated like this. Is it paused? Is it working? But it's a bit uncomfortable. Okay. It's a bit uncomfortable, this position. So probably I'm going to, return to my original posture because it's a bit uncomfortable. I tried, but I cannot do it. Yeah, I cannot do it. I will rest later. I will rest my feet later. Oh my, wait, this is not, you cannot see Mr. Buddha in there. The resolution also is not looking well, right? It's looking, It's all right. Okay. How are you guys? Oh my. Oh, I will have to. I didn't write down. I forgot. It's just that I had been. I arrived a bit later. I took a shower. My hair wouldn't dry so fast. Like it would get a bit crazy. So it took me forever. But now I'm realizing that I didn't write down the. I will have to use my phone because I didn't wrote down the recommendations. I'm like, this is in no shape or form. This is not deserving of the queens that we have today. This is so unorganized, but well, I had to wash my hair, and my hair, I have a lot of hair. So it's not so much about the washing of the body, it's more like my hair. It takes certain, treatment. It just doesn't. And the longer it gets, the complex and the more, you know, specific it gets. Like there's parts that they dry, evenly, and there's parts like the back of my head that it refuses. It gets crazy. Um, and I do mention my hair a lot, and not to, to be like, oh, my hair, and it's not about aesthetics. It's more like there's a lot of work in my head, and I wish I could simplify it. I wish I had a different hairstyle, but since my hair, it's a lot. Even when it's short, it's a lot, and it requires certain, like, I have to take care of this. I have to take care of my big head. um so this is why I always mention it. It's not so much to be like, oh, my hair, oh, I didn't do my hair. Like, it's not for aesthetics reasons that I mention it. Probably, someone maybe in my condition, if you do have a lot of hair, and if your hair is wild, and it doesn't cooperate, maybe you can relate to what I'm saying. But it's not, it's not easy um to function. When your hair, it takes longer, you know so yeah, this is why I said it. And I always mention the hair. For the queens, I noticed a lot of people did mention like Libra women, and I'm doing this series for the which queen are they? But then, when it comes to Libra season, I have to read for Libra people. So I don't know why I have so many Libra in here. I don't think that they understood, the dynamics. This reading is not for the Libra, the 2025 for the individual. It's like, it's a dynamic tarot reading to see what kind of queen they are. Because I'm seeing a lot of Libra people in here. And I should save a bit, there, because then when I read for Libra people, they're going to be mentioned again. So yeah. But I do appreciate, the ones you guys mentioned. But I must say that I'm a bit disappointed. I'm like, what is going on with the community and the recommendations of women in general? Because there's very few recommendations for women. And there's a lot of, famous artists in K-pop, K-dramas. So I wonder what is going on with this. It seems like maybe, there's more people that they support more male idols and they not so much. Um, I have this. So we do have to work on that. What is going on with the support of women? Mm. Um, yes, yes, I wanted to emphasize. Um, I got disconnected for like a minute. Hello, Diana. No, I was just mentioning that I was disappointed that there weren't many recommendations for today's topic. So I'm like, is there something going on with the female in the industry that maybe not a lot of people support? Which is sad because we do have very talented people. So I don't know. I don't know why. It seems like there was like this cricket. Like not many recommendations. I saw it at the last minute. I really see your community post on time. That's why I really recommend. Yeah, but that with you we always talk on Discord, so somehow we are like connected. Uh, but I'm like, what about the others? Maybe there's more people that they support like male idols or male actors, and not so many. Oh, I'm shuffling. I shouldn't be shuffling. I have the queens here. I have the queens here. I cannot be shuffling. Oh, Yes. We do. Mm. Hey, Samara. Let's see. I missed one. Mhm. This is because I was talking and I didn't see. I started, like I always do automatically, I start shuffling and I didn't notice that I had, the queens, I had them in the part, and I had them separated. Hello. So who's in the list? I will tell you. Wait. Mm. Oh my. And now the Queen of Cups has disappeared. Also, it's been a while since I used this deck, so I'm also. This is like I believe this is like the manga anime tarot. So it's been a while, so I'm like trying to get used to this deck. It's been a while, so I'm like confused. I'm confused. Sorry, guys. I'm a bit confused. This is why I wanted to start shuffling because it's necessary for me to contact with get in touch with the deck. But I started in the wrong way. Now I found the Queen of Cups and I lost the other queens. Oh my God, what is going on? What is going on? Let's see here. Queen of Swords, Wands, Pentacles. Eclipse energy, yes. Uh-huh. Welcome back, Bacano. Yeah. I think that I'm just adjusting maybe to the shift of, from Virgo to Libra. Like, again, I'm not so paranoid about small stuff, but at the same time, like I mentioned, I wanted to get my hair, in good conditions, and it took me forever. And now, I want to bring, this dynamic with the queens, and somehow I also feel like I'm not balanced yet. Sorry. I'm not balanced yet. I'm not, I don't feel like I'm in the Libra mode. I'm adjusting, I'm still in the Virgo season, I believe. I'm still in there. I'm still in there. No leaders like Pink. Yeah, it is. Yeah, who needs a leader for 4 people? Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. It's just that, yeah, it has a lot of like, a lot of, yeah, anime. So I have to pay extra attention to it because it's not like the usual. Also, I cannot see, guys. I have to get my. I already made the appointment, but because the health system also in here is so slow. Um, I have my appointment for next month, so to get to start wearing glasses or doing what I have to do with my eyes, with my new condition with my eyes, and I cannot see a thing. I'm like I have the phone here, but it's also tiny, the letters. My tablet doesn't work. I leave it charging, but it's not working. I don't know why. Hello. Is the clips changing you somehow? I don't know. I don't think that is changing me. I think that um no, I don't think that is changing me. I think that I don't know. I personally, I think that I need to make certain remodelations. And when I say remodelations, it sounds like I'm still talking about my place or my house or the office or no, but it's also internal. I still think that I have a lot of work to do. Um, um, it's like I have the possibility to collaborate with other people, not about the tarot or the channel, but at the same time I have to make time. It's I have to I have to see how I will organize myself. I'm feeling like um like I have a lot of things to do. That is good, but um it's it's like the perfect adjustment, like somehow letting go of control, like what I can fix or what I can in what I can improve, I will improve. And the things that maybe I didn't accomplish this year or I didn't have the time to go into that, well, I still have time, not to rush. But um I don't know. I think that a certain maybe it's the eclipse, but I think that there has to be certain changes. Certain changes, modifications. Somehow like going through a detox. What is good. I'm going to keep. What is good for my life, I'm going to keep. Putting attention and detail into this, and what I think that it doesn't have a purpose, it's not working. And when I say it's not working, I mean it. I think that I mean it for myself, about lifestyle. About lifestyle. Maybe I don't want to talk like, oh, I'm going to go on a diet, because it's not about diet, but yes, it's about maybe eating things or food that or drinks, I don't know, that maybe I cannot do. I don't know. I think that for me personally, the 40s, turning 40s, has turned me into a different person. Like physically, I think that I'm still adjusting. This is the word, adjusting, for me. I'm trying to find myself in my body, because it seems like I need to pay attention to a lot of things about my body, and this is not aesthetic, it's more about health. Um and also thinking about what makes me feel good, also mentally and spiritually. Thank God, I'm very thankful that I have the channel, and I've been doing this for a while, because this for me is very is so fun, and it's not perfect, but I think that I can pull my creativity in here. I can do something for myself and share it with others. So I love it. Um, but But yeah, I think that it maybe so my whole experience of turning 40 and realizing that there's things that I can do and there's things that I cannot do anymore. So I'm in that journey. I'm in that journey. Did I say hello, Yashoda? I believe I did. The art is so pretty. Do you think it's going to influence the way you read with the art interpretation? I don't know. Let's see. I hope. Just avoid anything white. Sugar, salt, and rice. Not rice. I love rice. I love Yashoda rice. Yashoda, you have to make me like a list of, you know, how can I improve my lifestyle? You know, any tips that you have, it serves me, you know, because in here the, you know, the nutritionists and the people are gate, you know, and the doctors gatekeep a lot, you know. For example, tomorrow I have an appointment for the, I don't know how you guys say it, is for the thyroid specialist, endocro. Oh, I don't know how you call it, guys, in English. Let's see. Endocrinologist, indro, endocrinologist, endocrinologist, or endocrinologist. Well, that's my appointment for tomorrow. These past months for me, there was a lot of changes, rather positive, but detox is the word. Yes. I feel like I cannot, you know, like usually in another years, I used to feel like, well, you know, I can still have this and this and let's see, you know, let's not, you know, be that decisive and eliminate. Let's just, you know, go with the flow. And now I'm like, no, you have to choose. You have to detox. There's no way. Like, you know, the time is now. You're starting today, something like this. I think we are the same situation with Eclipse, realizing the control and the new changes and responsibilities, but of I still lack of balance for me. Yeah, I feel very lack of balance as well. If you notice, like I spent the first minutes, you know, trying to get everything ready, and I'm feeling like, yeah, I want to be balanced, but I'm not balanced at all. Yeah, the Virgo season was heavy as well. Yes, I felt very um like under pressure, really. Okay. Endocrinologist. Thank you, endocrinologist. Yes. I'm trying new habits to reduce cortisol levels, so I get you. Okay. Okay, switch to protein diets. Peas, tofu, eggs, and a bit of carbohydrates. I have to get up. I have to go to the walks again, you know, like I did last year. Going for walks like 1 hour, 1 hour and a half, it has helped me a lot. Like the 5 months that I did it before winter came over here, I noticed that I didn't lose weight. Honestly, like I would get on the scale and I would weight the same. Um, but I felt healthier. I felt better. And now I'm like I was telling before I started, I was sort of, you know, resting my, I was putting my one of my food, I was putting it on top of a, you know, of a little chair that I have in here, because I was putting it to rest because, you know, I'm having an issue with a toenail. um I don't know if it's the nail or if it's my toe, the big toe, but it has been bothering me. And so I'm like trying to make it like rest, but I don't know, because I didn't hurt myself. Last year I had this issue that I had this black nail on the other foot, and this time it's the big toe, but it's not. I think that probably it could be. I don't know. I'm just tired. I'm tired because I'm like, no, another loop. I cannot wake up without having something that aches. Please. Like, I want to be normal again. I want to be normal again. I cannot. I swear. So I took. I don't know if you guys call it diclofenac. That is like a painkiller. I took one of those because I'm like, I'm done. I'm done going to the doctors. I'm done, you know. Yeah, for walking, working out, etc. The moment something becomes a habit too, it's like brushing your teeth. You need it. It's not a chore anymore. The numbers on the scale don't represent if you lost fat and won muscle. So if you feel better, ignore the numbers. Okay. Mm-hmm. But I swear, I was like, every time I wake up, I feel like I'm praying like nothing hurts, please. Like, oh my. Mm. Start aging if you feel your bones are getting weak. Small. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I think that, for me, I think that is definitely slowing down in activities. It's not the same, guys, like the kind of work that I used to do, standing a lot of hours on my feet, walking here and there, and just be standing on my 2 feet. Um, um, and once I started working at institutes, and I had to be seated down, and I had to be in front of the computer. And yes, I would walk, but it's not that big of a place, it's not that big of a, I don't do that much steps like I used to, um so the effort that I do every day is very low in comparison to what I used to have. So this is why I blame it all to my lifestyle of today. But I'm so thankful that I was able to slow down, because yeah, maybe I was skinnier, but I was very deep, like stress. The level of stress that I had in me, it was like we didn't even have, and probably I lost weight because I didn't have time to eat. So it's not a good lifestyle neither. um so, but I recognize how impactful it is when you don't move around that much. Now I feel it in my body. I feel it in my bones. Even though I know that I have lupus, so definitely I'm going to have some issues with my arthritis and all of those. Um, but I feel it like, I used to feel good just being going here and there and nonstop. I wouldn't have a problem, nothing. I wouldn't be like, oh my God, I need to sit down. No, not at all, because I was busy. I had a purpose, I was standing down, but I had a purpose. But now, since everything feels so like in front of a computer, listening to people, seated down, then, I'm here with you guys. I read the tarot and I'm seated. Of course, that while reading tarot, I'm not going to be, running around the room. But I think that changed my life 100%, and not for the better, like physically, health wise. I mean. even working out or working for like 10 minutes a day can make a difference to your well-being. Yes. Yeah. It's tough being a woman. It's tough. Like, and I don't even have children. I'm sure that people that have children, they are under a lot more stress, or maybe they experience different, changes in their body. But for me, the 40s has been, very much like challenging, very challenging. Like, like a sudden, I woke up being 40, and the next day I was like, you're no longer able to read a small print. So I was like, but I used to, weeks ago I used to be able to do that. And since I'm so stubborn, I don't like going to the doctors, because for me, sometimes going to the doctor, it's always bad news. It's always there's something wrong. So I'm like, no. I never get like, an analysis or something that is like, you're okay. It's always like there's something missing. Okay. Yes, my friend is 23 and has a baby, and she's afraid to go out because she doesn't like how she looks and thinks everyone is judging her. Mm. Yeah, it's just that these days, people are, especially when you are in your 20s, like, um, um, people are very much into, the way you look, and always making those remarks. Um, yeah, it's all about discipline and exercising. Find something you like, whether swimming or walking, and stick to it diligently for the next 10 years. Ah, okay. Okay. Thank you. I think it's important to talk about. If you don't speak loud, your mind keeps thinking, speaking in your head a lot. Yes, I agree, Bagana. I agree. My mom used to have that. I used to tell you that, my mom had always been a very quiet person. And, um, sometimes I think about, when she was diagnosed with cancer. Um, I think about all the things that she didn't say, or all the things. I think that she was the kind of person that she would hold it in, and maybe, the last years of her life, she started to get annoyed, and would just lash out, because it was her only way of somehow expressing maybe the anger, the frustration that she didn't express. So I think that's when you don't feel like in your environment you have someone that you can rely on, that you can talk to. um, I think that also it takes a toll on the person. It takes a toll on their mental health, on their physical health, because yeah, you feel misunderstood, and you're just left alone, maybe replaying conversations or replaying interactions, and you talk to yourself, and maybe you are in this loop of negative thinking, or maybe you feel like, oh, I have no way out, and it's because you are not you are not reaching out to someone and be like, I want a different perspective. I'm going to talk to a friend or someone that maybe can give me another perspective, so you can get out of your head. I think that is important, yes, to get out of your head. This is why, for me personally, since I've always been surrounded. It's not that I had trust issues, that I don't trust people easily about matters, important matters to me. It's just that I always had, those people. This is friends or in family. When you want to open up about a subject, and then they interrupt you and they start talking about themselves and how for them it was worse, or for them they had this issue, or they just make it the conversation about themselves. So you never have that moment of acceptance. You never have that place. You just end up giving up and being like, oh yeah, you too. Oh well, yeah, I guess it's the both of us. Or maybe the person was going through something like that, you see, like, oh, they're going through something more important. I cannot, tell them this that I'm feeling, because they're going to get worried. So for me, I always feel like I didn't have mature enough people, like emotionally, to sustain what I wanted to say or what I wanted to express. I would always feel like interrupted and misunderstood. Somehow also them having this vision of me being someone that I'm always fine, like I'm very smart, like I have no problems, because I've always been able to, I've always been mature for my age, or I always look like someone that has everything under control, and that I'm so intelligent. And always people in my family and friends always telling me these things, oh, because you're so resilient, you will get out of this. And I was like, actually, I wish I could. I just want to say what is going on with me. And I felt like the biggest obstacle were people. The people in my family, in my surroundings, they they wouldn't know how to listen. And at the same time, I understood that, and I took it very well, in the sense that I don't blame my family, or I don't blame my friends or the people around me for not having the ability or the tools to understand me, or the time. Maybe they didn't have the time. So this is why I went to therapy. I went to therapy. I paid the psychology session, and I was very, also like, Yashoda mentioned, about, sometimes, you have to find your tool, or you have to find a therapy, or an exercise, something that works for you, that is good for you, and invest in it. Even, if you're like, I'm actually doing better now, I don't need it, go anyways. Build, like, for me, it was like very. And I always, every time I have a friend or someone that they are struggling, I always tell them what I did. I always tell them I had to pay a stranger for them to listen to me. I had to pay a stranger for them to give me that moment, that privacy, that intimacy, that confidentiality, that alone time with myself that I needed. Um, Also, in my case, I no one went to therapy in my family. They would consider that, oh, if you go to see a psychologist, they would think that is it psychiatric? Well, the one that gives you the meds and the psychologist were the same person. So for them, it was like, oh, there must be something wrong with you if you go. But then, when I started studying counseling and everything, I met a lot of, great professionals. I work in group therapies, also helping people. But then, they always reminded me about this. That is like, I can train to be a great counselor, but I also need to invest in me. I have to go to counseling myself, and I have to work on my issues myself if I want to be there for others. It's not like, oh, I'm going to be the therapist, so I sit here and I will listen to you, and I will, you know and I will be here because I have this role. No, I'm also a person, so I have to have my psychologist, my counselor, my therapist. I have to have that space for myself as well, because then, what am I promoting? I'm talking about mental health, and then it seems like I'm running out of patience, or I'm not feeling happy, or there's something bothering me. And also, when you have clients in sessions, often the clients, I notice that sometimes the clients that I get, they mirror my issues, my my maybe not issues, but sometimes they confront a part of me that I maybe have something unfinished with that aspect that they are bringing. So I'm like, they are a part of me as well, even though we are very different. What they're going through, and the topic, the subject that they bring in session to work on is actually something that resonates with my story as well, even though I try to, remain, very neutral about it, but I resonate. I'm like, I went through this myself. So it's but and the other day I was talking to my aunt. I have an aunt, that she also has older children, that they are all, um in, I don't call them cousins of mine, but they are like very close. I grew up with them. Like I see them every once in a while. And they are like my age, a bit older, and they all have their issues. They all have their histories with men. Divorces, and some of them being single, and the other ones remarried. Um, and I would be like, for me, I don't know if they go to therapy or not, but for me, what worked for me was, to spend on therapy instead of, getting my nails done. Um, I save that money and I go to therapy. That's my self care. That's my investment in myself, because I recognize that for someone like me, with what I do for a living, is necessary. I cannot depend on other people to, you know, it's like I become responsible of what is going on with me mentally. Mm, yes, being able to communicate or having tools to soothe you in your own, super important. Yes, yes. Yes, and people see you a certain way when you don't talk about your problems. They immediately see you. They immediately see you as the rock. Yeah, but you're human too. I lost 20 pounds by changing my diet and walking a mile a day. I cut bread, soda, and nutrition. Oh, that's perfect, Shelling. That's perfect. Yeah, I think that if I would cut, bread, yeah, soda, especially bread, I would be okay. Yes. And also don't eat after 8. Yes. Yeah, it's always about the others, but if your friend be able to listen to you and try to help you at the same time you help him. Psychiatrist. Sorry, I have troubles with the word today. Being the cycle breaker is almost like torture. Sometimes you feel like you're getting worse. Yeah, I feel like in my um and I think that in that generation of women in my family, I believe I was like the first one that introduced the idea of, I need to talk to someone. I need to talk to a professional. I know you guys have no idea, and I'm sure that, but I need to go to see a psychologist. I need to talk to someone, and I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. Like, then, now it's easier for younger generations to be like, oh, yeah, I do this, or I do this activity because it's good for your mental health. Back then, it was like, what are you saying? Are you crazy? Is something going on with you? No, I just need someone to talk to. I need someone that listens to me. Yeah, same. I asked to go therapy as a teenager. We didn't communicate that much in my family, not completely closed off, but it's more comfortable talking to a therapist and psychologist. Yes. Therapy is perfect. It's a professional that listen to you, give feedbacks, and help you without judging and how to deal with your mind and to the others. And I think that that's the most healing part of a therapeutic relationship, is that you are in that moment and somehow it seems like a door opens up for you. In the sense that I found a place where I'm not judged and that actually I can meet someone in a place, where I feel protected and there's no judgment. There's just like this, yeah, we're working towards something, but that person is kind. At least my style of therapist has been very kind, unconditional or unconditional, being very accepting. And once you have a taste of that, because I have done this for my clients, being accepting to whatever they bring me, even if we are different. But I want them to feel like, I get you and I accept you. Yeah, this that you're telling me, everything. I accept you. This is you. This is that you're bringing is you. And it's so nice to be able to, I think that for me, it opened my mind. And also while I was, doing a lot of training for counseling, um, seeing also all the empathy of the people that they would become my colleagues later, when we were students, how people like us exist, that we are able to give this precious moment to someone and then see them grow and see them, leave the room, leave the office, but you see them and in each encounter, you are witnessing their growth. How by just, an hour talking to you once a week, they completely change. They change because they have this relationship with you. They have this moment, they have this sacred space, and everything changes. And to be a witness of someone's transformation is also very transformative for oneself. I think that for me, this is what drew me about therapy. Yeah, there's moments where, when you are very empathic or when you have to be in that role, sometimes you meet people that they are not going to change. They're always going to blame others. There's always going to be drama. Some people don't want to change. That's the reality. They just want to complain. But when you see someone really like being committed to the process of getting better, is so, and you're like, it's so nice because you're like, I didn't do anything special. I just listened to them, or I just was there paying attention, being there. No magic tool, no promises, just authenticity. And I think that that's something that it's because once you realize that there's people in the world that can give you these moments, you no longer accept less of that. because you experienced this unconditional acceptance, and you're like, okay, if there's someone that gets me, or if there's someone that is listening to me, that means I'm worth it. And I have to look for more instances and situations where I can be listened to, where I can be appreciated, where I can be accepted. And not just be like, oh, well, yeah, my family, we always treat each other like this. Well, someone has to break the cycle and say the words and tell some family members, like, you are being rude. And I don't care how many years you have been doing this at dinner or at lunchtime, but this is awkward. Please don't say those things. Or maybe not going. I started doing that. Like, I don't go to family reunions nor dinners. No, if I don't feel like going, I don't go. The only reason today why I go to certain family events is because of my godson and my godsons and my nephews and my nieces. This is why. For them, I go sometimes. It depends. But to go because, oh, well, we grew up together, we have a history together. Yeah, we used to. I'm a different person now. Mm. I love how this live about queens goes to eclipse society expectations, judgment, therapy, mental and physical health. Yeah, you need to find the right. Yes. 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 Family reunions are such a chore. Yes. Yes. It's just that I think that also, now that we are in Libra season and it's all about the others, connecting with others. I think that, we can all talk about independency and a personal like growth and things, but at the end, we are nothing without the other. At some point, it doesn't have to be romantic, but there has to be, the other part. There has to be a reciprocity. There has to be someone that receives the message. And I was listening to someone today that they were talking about Libra season. I believe they were Libra as well. And they were talking about marriage. This person has children. I believe she was a therapist as well, or an astrologer. I don't know. Because I came across her live stream and I joined, but I never seen her videos. And people in the comments were asking her, if she believed in marriage, if she would be, if she would want to get married at some point in her life, married for love, married for love. And she was like, absolutely, I would love to get married one day. It's just that, yes, is for love. And I think that this is and this is, I resonate so much with this vision, because personally I think that all the times I had a proposal from my partners to get married, I only had two, so I cannot be like, oh, I had many. No, I only had two, and I didn't accept, and I declined because I felt like it wasn't going to be. I'm marrying for love. I'm marrying because I love this person. Um, it was more like, do you want to get married? Because, you know, we had been with, you know, in each other's lives for so many years. So I guess, you know, we have to do this official. Or there was something like, oh, you know, I want us to get married because, you know, I'm so jealous or I'm possessive. So I think that if we are married, you're not going to leave me, you know. And they would say it as a joke, but it was a statement, you know. There was truth in this, you know, like, oh, if you're married to me, you know, you will not be able to run away, or I will not make it easy for you to leave me. So I didn't find neither of those marriage proposals, romantic. And my former partners, boyfriends back then, they were very romantic, but we came into that state in the relationship where the relationship was doomed, and the romanticism was leaving the room. You know, there was no longer romanticism, only routine, I guess. So how can we romanticize this? Let's get married, let's have children, let's see if this adds up, you know, to our broken relationship. So for me, it was more like, you know, for this as a way to fix something that I felt like I didn't feel the same for the person. Like, it wasn't going to change anything. It was just going to be like, you know, a chore, something that we had to do, or something that society expects us to do, or to go through a sort of ritual that we have to go through. And I know that in certain societies, you know, for us women, you know, to get married, to have a husband is so precious. You know, it's like you are so worth it, or you are more important if you have a husband. And if you're single, there must be something wrong with you. So I think that in my case, I maybe, you know, I don't think that on purpose I did it, but I think that I wanted to be in this state, you know, of being like, I always tell my nieces, I always wanted to be the cool single aunt. I always wanted to be the cool child-free aunt, because I could get a partner if I wanted to. I could be in a relationship if I wanted to. I could actually, I consider myself a great partner. And I'm very romantic. I'm a very romantic person. But I don't want to, you know. I am, after experiencing certain things that felt very shallow, I was like, you know, I'm not choosing well. So if I'm not choosing well, or if I don't know, or I don't know how to recognize what kind of person is good for me, I guess I need to be alone. I guess I need to learn certain things about myself. Like, why are you choosing what you're choosing? You know, learn to choose better. And it's going to take me whatever it has to take me, but I'm going to learn. Because there comes a certain point in your life where you cannot just blame the other person for your problems. It's not, oh no, my partner did this and they did this to me, but they are in your life because you welcome them in your life. So, you know, you attracted that. You resonated with that person, and now all of a sudden you're complaining, or they bother you, or you are bothered by their existence next to you when you allow them to be next to you. So, you know, I think that I became very, very mature about that, you know. And with maturity, it comes a bit of loneliness, and a bit of like, wow, will I ever meet the person for me? I don't know. But I only can say that I'm trying to be authentic to what I think I deserve, and what I don't want, I will not make room, space for someone to be by my side if I end up being disappointed. Like, I don't want to be bitter. I don't want to be, and this is something that I also seen in my family and in the women in my family, being with the person for so many years, but then, being the partner, the kind of partner that is like, oh, you're always like this, and you're always like this, and you always do this wrong, and you don't know how to, and always like complaining about their partner and being disrespectful, and being moody all the time, dissatisfied, angry, frustrated to their husbands, to their partners. And I was like, I don't want to be that woman. I don't want to be that woman, because I could easily turn into that woman, because I'm very, if you allow me, if you give me room, I'm very bossy. And I'm very with my partners, I have this sort of like superiority complex, like I start very humble, and then I start to climb, to sort of get you to do this, or I start to take over you. Like I sent a video, I sent a TikTok on the Discord channel about, there was an animal. I don't know if it was like a donkey or it was like a cow. I believe it was a cow. And there was a small sheep, like yeah, it was a sheep, I believe. They were like, stepping. They were on top of the using the cow as if the cow was like a mountain, and like I'm stepping over you, and I'm like in here, because I'm at the top, you are like this mountain for me, so I'm going to climb over you, and I'm going to sit on you, and I'm going to feel like I'm at the top of the world, because this is what, I don't know if it's literally Capricorn behavior, but yeah, we do have the need to always be climbing, always climbing, and always being like, oh, I'm better, I'm better, I'm better. And we do a very, good job, with like, I start like asking this of you, and then I ask you this, and then I take over everything. And then I take over the relationship, and everything is about me at the end. So it can be, and then we complain that we have to do everything. Yeah, if you have a partner, and you don't allow them to play their part, because you're like, no, you don't do anything right, and I do everything perfectly, of course, that then what is expected is that since you are so perfect, you have to do everything on your own. No one can get in your way. So since I had that tendency, I was like, I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be that woman. And why am I being this woman? Why am I being um, so annoying in relationships, as if I was a dictator, I would say, in the relationship? And I think, and I see my cousins do the same with their husbands. So I think that is like what we've seen in our families. Like, oh, the men don't know how to do anything. You have to run the house. Because the men in the family, they're fools. They don't know how things work in the house. They don't know how to raise the children. They don't know how to do this. So, and that's, and this is why I think that, when I moved away from my family for a while, and I lived with a boyfriend of mine, for a lot of years, I had, this great experience, I would say, of dating, I would say, a Virgo man, that he was actually very good at everything, and he would be very, perfect at a lot of things. So in there, in this, environment, and me working with him in this relationship, and just, making sure that everything worked perfectly, only the two of us, I gained respect for him. And I also recognize that the women in my family used to say, like, oh, men don't know how to do anything. You have to supervise them because they are fools. They don't know how to do anything. And when I was with my boyfriend of then, and then I also dated another guys that they were very skillful about a lot of things. and also very helpful. They would cook, they would clean the house, they would do everything, even better than myself. And I learned a few tricks from them as well. So that vision of no, a woman has to, start whining because otherwise the man doesn't get anything done. That's something that in my family, it was a very wrong perception, because actually, the men I dated were very skillful people. And I wouldn't have to be like, oh, you have to help me with this. No, they will help me willingly. So this is why I'm like, I don't want to be that kind of woman. I want to be able to recognize the value in the person that I have next to me. And not to, always be that whiny and that, because if I'm being honest, like if I look at myself the way they act, or the way that I would act, always complaining, like who would want to live with you? No one. I wouldn't want to live with someone if I was like this. And I would have to live with someone that has that tendency, like whining towards me. I wouldn't want to live with that person. So, um, I learned a lot. I learned a lot. Um, you know, but yeah, family family dynamics. This is why it's important to move out. It's important to travel if you can, meet people that do not date people that are from the same background as you or the same neighborhood. I would always meet people from other cities, so I would have to go and meet other places, their families, and I would open my mind, you know. mm. Wait, guys, that I'm reading you. At the end, we need connections. We are social creatures. Oh, I always want. Of course, you resonate. You have been as in Pisces, exalted me. Yeah, I don't care. There's no age for being romantic. I understand some cultures and countries is more difficult, and you need the material support. But if you can, why do this? I read stuff online written by teenagers telling people in their late 20s, you should be starting family by now. Like, this kind of joke isn't a joke. It's just a red flag. They're just exposing their desires and true colors. Live in with someone if you like them. Marriage is a headache. Yeah. I read a study that gay couples were overall happier than straight couples because there's less gender roles and projection. I guess it makes sense. Yes, I agree with that. Yeah, you'll find someone when the time is right. Everyone does. And they don't get together because they got pregnant and they're trying to be a traditional couple. Yes. What is good is that you're very aware of how functioning relationship does already half of the job done. Yeah, you're like my cup aunt. The difference is that her husband is the one raising the children. She's just by nosy, bossy by nature. Yes. I'm seeing a Taurus guy, by the way. When not too long ago during our Taurus men talk, I said I wasn't attracted to them. See, you're opening. See, because we spend a lot of time talking about Taurus men. I don't know why it came to the picture. Maybe because I was reading for some Taurus men, and I had good experiences with them. So I was thinking, I was mentioning, I have to go back to Earth, to dating Earth signs, and we were talking about Taurus. Taurus are nice. I like them. But yeah, Fluffy, you go. You go. You can also allow yourself to be in a relationship and not be perfect and kind of improve with the person. Not I'm scary since I also say that I'm not attracted to Taurus men. That happened to me with the Cancer guy, Fluffy. But I should stick to my opinion on Cancer men. Oh no. Yes, they always happen. One day you say, I won't ever do that, and bam, you actually end up doing it. He's a Virgo Mundo. I think that's really what makes it work. Yeah, totally. Totally, because there's like this, you guys like have this language, his emotional world and your son, your identity is like you guys. Oh, I love it. I love that. I don't know if it's synastry. I don't know, but I love the combination, the combination of moon and sun in the same sign. I never had that, but I'm sure it must be amazing. Yes, can confirm the good qualities you mentioned in Taurus about Taurus man. They. It's just that I think that they are great. They just you learn to enjoy with them. You learn to enjoy. You learn to enjoy. Yes, all this talk is just resonates a lot about the Queen cards, the feminine energy, maturity, emotional depth. Yeah, I wanted to put like the Queen card, like idol songs, but I couldn't think about like how do I write this. But yeah, I have for today. I have the actress Kim Jiwon. I have a Hearts2Hearts member Ian. Ian is her name. I don't know. I have it written down here. I believe it's pronounced Ian. Twice Momo, twice Jihyo. I have Jennie. I have Rosè. I have the actress Jeon Yeo Been. I have Ningning of aespa. I have Taeyeon of SNSD and no one else. So yeah. Yes. Yeah, Ningning. Yeah, also there's a lot of Libra women here. So probably, on Libra season, I'm going to be reading for them as well. So remember that this is like a personality reading. Today is all, for the which queen they are, like which archetype they are. And I'm going to pull two queens, the one that they are embracing, they are like in the energy that they are today, and maybe the one that they could embrace, that it would be really good for them to also explore that part. Yesterday we entered Libra season, and yesterday I just realized Joe Judy looks like early Twice Days Mina. Oh, really? Wow. The new girl group, Taro. Taro is so cool. It's so cool. Oh my God. The Tarot Masters, remember that one? Oh my God. The talks that we had about those. The Tarot Masters. Okay. I have the queens here. Okay, I'm going to start with Kim Jiwon, the actress. I believe she's also a Libra, but yeah, let's see, what queen she is today and what queen it would be good for her to also take into consideration. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay, for the actress Kim Ji-woon, we have the queen. We have the Queen of Wands for her. This is her queen. This is her archetype. Queen of Wands. It's giving me Sagittarius vibe. Is she a Sagittarius moon? Sagittarius something? Um, then how does she work with this energy? You know, how this energy presents itself. And we have the Ace of Cups, and we also have the Wheel of Fortune. So she's very loved with this sort of, maybe it's her characters, that her characters gives, why the her characters, could it be maybe someone that is a fan of hers? No, if the characters that she plays is, they are very like heroic, like a Sagittarius woman, you know, very loud, very like, you know, authentic and passionate, and you know, adventurous. And the one that she could also embrace, that it will help her in her personal life, is the Queen of Pentacles. So yeah, it seems like, you know, maybe it's the character that she plays that it sort of, you know, gives this very dynamic, brave, maybe, you know, how she shows herself to the public is this very brave, courageous queen, you know, like someone that knows their worth, someone that is fights for her right, and she just speaks up, you know, she has to, you know, say something, you know, she doesn't stay still, you know, against, you know, injustice. She's very upfront, you know, she it seems like probably people see her like a bit intimidating, like somehow, you know, she seems to be very confident in herself. You know, she is this kind of queen. She's the kind of this kind of queen that um you cannot look away. You know, she's also very passionate. You know, she's like the kind of queen that she could be exuberant also when she wants to, because there's something about this queen being like, yeah, I could be, you know, exuberant, I could show off, but I could also be a tomboy. You know, I could also be, you know, one of the guys if I wanted to. You know, very spontaneous, like she, but definitely exudes a very strong force, you know, very passionate Martian kind of energy. Very like a doer, you know, like a leader, someone that is very strong, and also her mind is also very strong. Her body probably is very strong. Maybe she's athletic, um, and she's just very powerful. A very powerful queen, very powerful. And also the queen of wands is like this kind of energy that uh, there's something about her that is like, move over, you know, to the other queens. She's like, get out of my way. I am the protagonist, you know, I am the one. And I think that her energy feels like this, very brave. You know, also very honest, like very raw, you know, in her emotions. But yeah, the Ace of Cups and the Wheel of Fortune, I think that she's very loved by people. The Ace of Cups is that, you know, with this very fiery nature, or maybe this very, you know, strong and unapologetic, I guess, you know, kind of energy. I think that people love that about her. There's something about her, you know, sort of, you know, commanding the stage or commanding whatever project she's in. You know, she's this very powerful force. And I think that people love her for this. You know, there's something about her feeling so powerful, but at the same time, um, like also the Wheel of Fortune with cycles. It's like there's so much that she could do. Maybe this has to do with creativity and with roles. She could do and play so many different roles that people would never get tired of her. But she's very brave. I think that also her decisions, or the decision making, you know, of hers has been very intelligent, you know, in the past. I think that probably, you know, people has been noticing this, how she's more daring more to get out of the comfort zone and being like, I'm choosing this to do this, but this is a cycle. It's not like I will always be like this. I have a lot of potential, but the Ace of Cups is that she's very loved. She's very loved by people. People love her, admire her so much. And this is why she's able to be so proud of herself. And so, she adventurates to a lot of things because she's like, I have the right people by my side, and people are waiting for me. People are waiting to see me. I'm important to them, so I have to be brave. I have to be brave, and also, maybe the Queen of Wands today, her being this, is that she's sort of learning to be stronger, to be more resilient, to speak up more, to be much more proactive about her decisions. Because yes, we're talking about, if she's a Libra, having a Queen of Wands definitely shows how she's maybe using this. This is why I'm like, does she have Sagittarius energy everywhere? Because it feels like it's taking over in this part of her life. And the Queen that she could also integrate if she wanted to, what is available. Another, Queen that would be beneficial for her is the Queen of Pentacles. I think that the Queen of Pentacles for her, it sort of makes sense because there's something about administration. Probably, because she's so energetic, or when she is, devoted to a project, or when she puts all her energy into maybe, creating something, or being part of a project, or being active in the industry, she's so authentic, and she's so in there, she's so in the field, she gets involved so much that maybe when it comes to her finances, or maybe, thinking about numbers and thinking about spendings, maybe, or thinking about, sort of carrying an structure, a routine, something that can help her. I think that she's more like a wild soul. Like, she doesn't, for now, she's not like that pendant when it comes to, the money, how much money does she have, and what she does with the money, or, to carry a certain order. So I think that the Queen of Pentacles is like, when the time comes, you're going to have to face these matters, become more serious. And the Queen of Pentacles also is a lot of potential for her to take better care of her, or of how she spends not only money, but also her own energy. It's like, learn to be a bit much more modest, or learn to regulate certain expenses or a certain lifestyle, become more modest, be a bit, probably, I don't want to say a bit cheap, but there's something about, like, what you own, take care of what you own, because you worked a lot. You worked a lot. You worked a lot to produce this that you have. So take care of this. Don't lose sight of the material part of your life, or hire someone that has the ability to, help her in that sense. But yeah. Mm, okay. Let's see about this member, Hearts2Hearts Ian. I believe since she is a member of Heart2Hearts, she must be very young. So I don't know if I would call it a queen, but let's see what she has. Let's see what she has. Because they are very young. You know, for me, a queen is someone that is like of a certain experience, you know. Okay. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Okay, for this idol, for Heart2Hearts member Ian, we have, she is the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords. So very communicative, very intelligent. You know, obviously we have the cards that support, you know, her, you know, embracing this queen, this very strong queen. We have the Page of Cups, and we have the Ten of Wands. That the keyword says burden. So I would say that there's a bit of people pleasing in here. You know, maybe um, um, she wants to be fair with the audience or maybe with the people watching her, but she also wants to be charming. So there's, you know, and the Ten of Wands is like, you know, it seems to be a burden for her to, you know, integrate these queens. From time to time, it can be a pleasant experience for her. And from other parts, it can seem like, oh, I wasn't nice enough, or I said this and it did come off a bit rough. So maybe she could doubt a bit the way she communicates. And the one that she has available, if she wants to integrate it in the future, is the Queen of Cups. So for me, the Queen of Cups it is more fitting for her because I think that the Queen of Cups it sort of resonates. It's an energy that is more about this maybe her learning to be more compassionate with each other, you know, and because I have two cards that have the cups element. You know, I have the Page of Cups, and then I have the potential of the queens in the near future that she could integrate is the Queen of Cups. So, and I have the Ten of Wands. So she shows herself as this Queen of Swords. So if she is an earth sign, if she's a Libra, you know, being represented as this Queen of Swords, it sort of makes sense in the sense that the Queen of Swords is very analytical, is also, you know, measures the way they do things, you know, they could be a bit cold or detached as well, you know, or maybe, you know, she has like a sort of concept where, you know, she has to play it cool, or she has to be like the smart one, or she has to be like the mysterious one, you know. A Queen of Swords archetype, I would say, is very fitting if she's a Libra, or is very fitting if the concept that she was given is like this. It's like very detached, cold, like beautiful, but like it's not like an ice queen, you know, like, oh, you will never know, you know, the way to my heart. But inside, I think that she's very eager, you know, with the Page of Cups. She's very eager to be loved, you know, to give you love and for the people to love her. She maybe is because it's part of, you know, of what she does for a living. You know, she's very much like waiting for people's recognition. You know, she's waiting for the applause, or she's waiting for the good vibes. She also wants to be seen in the best light possible, you know, that you consider her like a positive influence. She wants to be a good person, you know. She wants to be liked. So in here, there's a bit of people pleasing. I would say with the Ten of Wands, it feels like a burden, you know, because maybe she wants to be nicer, but if she has a sort of concept or an appearance that is like, oh no, you have to be the one that is cold and detached, or the one that doesn't smile that much, or the one that is like more like centering themselves, and they are like, oh no, yes, thank you. She she is very sweet inside. You know, she has this duality. I think that she's very sweet and she's very sensitive. Honestly, she's very sensitive. This Queen of Swords archetype is not going to last that long with her. She's going to, at some point, expose how she really feels. And we have the Ten of Wands. So she could, you know, at some point, maybe because of the pressure or because, you know, of the industry, you know, maybe at some point open up with the fans and tell them about her struggles, you know, I mean, like, oh, you know, guys, this was challenging. This that I did, it was challenging, but I hope that you guys love it, or I hope that you guys receive it. You know, when I see all these cups, all these chalices, like it's called in here in this deck, it's not called cups. It's like the Princess of Chalices or the Queen of Chalices. So it's all about what you have available, and she has a lot of very soft nature and a lot of love to give. But there could be a bit of a burden to sustain a certain image, and I think that probably is also an experience. You know, it's like I said, for me, I wouldn't pull a queen for her. You know, I'm doing this dynamic because we're talking about the queens, but for her, I think that this page of cups that in here is called the Princess of Chalices. For me, this is more her. For me, this represents more her. The princess. The Princess of Cups, than the Queen of Swords. You know, the Queen of Swords, it is like maybe a concept of hers that she has to show up, you know, maybe is she the rapper, or is she good with communication or with pronunciation or with, you know, because mentally she's fast, like she's a great, you know, learner, but I think that it's like a facade. It's not, you know, inside I see a lot of sensitivity. And yeah, in the near future, I think that, you know, she has to embrace also the sensitivity of hers. You know, maybe at some point she's going to show it to the fans, and she has to embrace it. You know, she has to embrace it. You know, the Queen of Cups is somehow calling her. It's like, you know, you can be this queen. You can be this queen. You know, you can be this sweet. It's okay. Even if probably, you know, in the group there's a lot of sweetness already. This is why we have this group that is called is their name is Hearts2Hearts. So, you know, the concept is all about connecting with the others. You know, like share with us. But she's much more sensitive of what she looks like. She maybe has like you know, the appearance or the physical attributes of someone that is more like serious and detached, but actually she's a softie. She's very sweet. I'm going to change the mics just in case. Okay. Okay. I'm going to continue with twice Momo. What queen she is. Let's see, Momo. Mm. Very passionate. Very passionate. Okay, Momo, she got the Queen of Wands. Very passionate. Very sensual. It's giving me sensual, like not passionate warrior, passionate sensual. Voluptuous. Okay, how she works with this image. We have the Temperance. And we also have the Six of Swords, transition, it says. So she could eventually, change into this, the Queen of Swords. That this is the queen, the queen that she could integrate, she could also use this energy in the near future. Probably with experiences, and maybe a bit of changes. Momo will learn more to sharp her comments, or maybe to respond a bit more, to speak up a bit more against certain situations, because I think that she's all energy. Right now she feels very very magnetic. She's very powerful. Her image alone, very fiery, very passionate. She is a woman of passion. So I think that this is why maybe she doesn't have to do much to get attention, because it seems like her energy is very strong, is very sexual, is sensual, is spontaneous. She likes what she likes. She does what she does. Like there's no, there's no I think that even though she is a Scorpio, I think that she's the most authentic Scorpio ever, because I don't think that there's mental games, nor speculations, nor manipulation. I think that for Momo, she's like this. She's this very confident queen. She feels good about herself. She I think that the more she moves her body, probably this is it's all about sensations. I think that this is a woman that I don't know much about, because this is a Chinese deck, even though I said I don't know if it's like the anime or the manga tarot. I don't remember the name. But anime and manga, it sounds Japanese, but actually this deck, I believe if you see the images, they are all somehow it's more Chinese inspired, and maybe the letters and the signs are more Chinese than other Asian culture. But they also have their their element, like the fire. This is why we have the red. So I think that she's someone that she uses this very instinctive nature of her. She's more reactive. She's like, I put my body to work. I put my energy to work. She needs to work with her body. She needs to move her body. She needs to to communicate, create with her body. She's like someone that her body speaks for herself. And this is why, maybe she's an amazing dancer, because, the way she communicates with her body is very is powerful. You cannot look away. So I think that for her, she is a strong person. Visually, I think that you can feel how passionate she is for what she does or what she chooses to do. She's not a cold person. She cannot be a cold, calculated person, like being like, oh no, today I'm going to be mysterious, or today I'm going to be, I'm going to act disinterest. No, she's someone that she's very blunt. You can feel it in her body language. She cannot lie. You can feel her passion. You can see in her body language what she's going to do, if she's invested, if she's not invested. She's very obvious, I must say, as well. Very eye-catching. Of course, if you look at like a woman like this, you wouldn't be able to look away, because she has this energy, that speaks louder than words. But also, the Temperance and the Six of Swords, The Temperance, I think that definitely it talks about, her relationship with this fire energy, her relationships with this Queen of Wands, of her being probably feeling um, much more on fire or much more stamina than the others. Probably like there's something about her being a bit insatiable in life, I would say. When she wants something, she wants, like, there's something about, she be like, I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it, and she gets very passionate about it. And she gets very, like, she's very insatiable in that sense. And you cannot control her. This is a woman that you cannot, tell her to, like, can you tone down a bit your energy? Can you be less intense? She cannot. She is like this. And the Temperance, I think that it definitely shows, the change in her. Somehow maybe she's like now learning how valuable being, I would say she's a bit hot-blooded, like she's very hot-blooded, like a fire sign, like very blunt, very like, okay, it is what it is. I feel like this, I do this, yeah, it is what it is. And maybe, there were certain moments in her life where people or situations, they wanted to tame her, or they wanted her to be less herself. So the Temperance is like her somehow uh, coming into the reconciliations of her part, and being like, I've always been a warrior. I always had to compete. I always had to be the best. I always had to be relentless if I wanted to achieve something in life. Probably, there were moments where all that fire that she felt could literally backfire on her, or maybe being accused of being too much, or like, oh, you're being too provocative, or, oh, you're doing this, because, this is a lot. You have to be less. And the Temperance and the Six of Swords, that it says transition, these are moments of her where she's like, well, I had to be like this, because in this industry, there's no way you can make it if you don't have passion in your veins. This is the reality. You have to show it with your body. You have to show it. It's just that maybe a lot of people are interested in her body. There's something about her, the way she dances or the way she dresses. There's something about her, like, people are like, so lustful. And also because she has this strong energy, people want, like, especially people that don't have that energy that she has, they want to possess her, or they want to absorb what she has, to somehow steal it from her, take it away from her. So there could be, certain circumstances where there was jealousy, or there was, like, people trying to steal something from her, from this energy of being the Queen of Wands. That it's like she never pretended to be this Queen of Wands. She was born with this energy. This is like a, I don't know if in Chinese medicine, is it called qi? Is it called, like the, the energy, the fire in you? I believe it's called chi. It's something that she has. It's like, it's how she presents herself. Yeah, this is me. This is what I do. But this could, maybe mean that she could, people being very jealous of this that she would show, and wanted her to change. And the Temperance is learning to be at peace with herself and being like, well, I am this, but I can also be something else. I can also have other attributes. But I think that this Queen of Wands attitude had helped her, had shaped her into, a very resilient person. Because obviously, you have to be somehow, a fighter in this industry. So, it's like she can be sweet, but there's something about her being like, I'm not that naive anymore. I'm not. And also, the Queen of Swords as the potential that she could, the queen that could also be integrated in her if she wanted to. The Queen of Swords is all about, tactics. It's like her learning to be maybe much more, like what I said at the beginning, that she's like, I have zero, I'm not cunning, I'm not, like calculative like this, but, the Queen of Swords is somehow inviting her, like you can be if you wanted to. To win certain battles, you need to be smart. And she definitely has that part in herself. She has that part. She has that side of herself. She has this queen available that is maybe, the one that doesn't speak that often, but that she can use the power of her words, against people that are trying to harm her or against people that are trying to talk for her. There's something about this Queen of Swords somehow being able to say no, being able to say, stop, you will not talk for me. I talk for myself. I tell my truth. I say what I want to say. I don't need you guys to translate for me. I can defend myself, or I can say out loud, yes, I will do this, or no, I will not do this. But I think that maybe there will be a moment in her life where this Queen of Swords can be of good use in her, where she can get a bit much more rational, intelligent, selective, and like pay attention to the information, pay attention to whatever is going on, and save certain receipts, and be strategic, be strategic. I think that she will need it at some point, because she needs to speak up more. She needs to, maybe there will come a moment where she will have to defend herself with words or evidence. So the Queen of Swords is like, you got it in you. You are very intelligent. She's a very intelligent woman. It's just that, maybe her profession or her lifestyle, she doesn't have the space nor the room to speak that much, because it's not necessary for the kind of art that she does. But in her real life, Momo needs to speak up more. She needs to talk. Just talk. Just talk. Create your podcast. I don't know, but exercise your voice. Exercise your truth. Let people hear your truth or your side of the story. She's also like, she is very wise. Like, I think that there's something about, I don't know if she gets interrupted a lot, or people are like, no, you don't talk, because every time you say something, people don't get it. Or if you say a joke, people don't. But the more she matures, the more she will be able to speak about important things, or maybe, have the possibility to speak up without being interrupted by others, being taken seriously for what she says. Okay. Let's see Jihyo, twice Jihyo. Let's see what kind of queen she is. And like twice has like very passionate members, definitely, because for Jihyo we have the Queen of Wands again. So the Queen of Wands today for this artist is on fire, literally. So she's very passionate. She's like Mrs. Passion, I would say. Yeah. Then she got the 9 of Wands. And we have the Ace of Cups that it says reverse. Reverse. She's a tough person. She's very sensitive inside because we have, the queen that she could integrate, the queen that somehow is like, hello, pay attention to me. I'm available. I'm also part of you. We have the Queen of Cups. So she has, the potential. I also see the Ace of Cups in here. So she's an interesting mix of, water and fire, I would say. It's just that, these two energy clashes. And in her energy or in her persona, you can see a sort of like rejection of the other. It's like, no, I'm this. I cannot be this because this is the opposite of what I represent today. For her, she is this, or maybe she was trained to be this, again, like I said for Momo, maybe is their job, is the competitiveness or of the roles, how much they had to work or how much they had to put the body to work to show that they were worth it of a place in the industry of, to win, to be a winner, you have to be this, you have to be this Queen of Wands. You cannot be less, you have to put the body. She probably put her body, her energy, her character even, she put it under a lot of stress, but at the same time, this is someone that can bear the stress. The Queen of Wands is a warrior, is a very is someone that is like, is a queen, but at the same time it could be a very dominant queen, like a sort of masculine kind of queen, because they are very bossy or they are very, action orientated. It's like, let's put the body to work. Let's, like, I show up, and the first thing that I do is that I show up in front of you, and I place myself in front of you, and I look at you in the eyes, and I'm face to face in front of you, and I'm facing you, and I'm facing my problems, and I put the body, I put the chest, I put the chest out, and I'm like, okay, life, bring it on. I'm ready. The queen of Wands is this and more, is the enthusiasm, is the energy, is the energy of the person that is like, let's go, 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 go. It has to be now. It has to be now. It's like run, 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 run. Like the person that she could be like, there's no time to lose. Our moment is now. And I have to put the energy, and I have to put the body. And she's very proud of what she had built with this Queen of Wands. This Queen of Wands had guided her to success, to sustaining and maintaining things and not lose the spark. I think that this is a woman, this is another artist, woman, that she cannot go through life being detached or being doing the bare minimum, or just being like, oh, well, yeah, it is what it is. For her, it's not. For her, it's like, I'm here to conquer. I'm here to win. If I don't have anyone to compete, I will compete with my old version. I will compete with myself of the past. But I will compete, and I shall win. I'm going to win. Very competitive, definitely. It's just that, yeah, definitely, she's tough. It's tough. It's tough for her to open up. I think that she hides her vulnerability behind this 9 of Wands. The 9 of Wands is also this person that went through a lot, and she's sort of used to, I think that somehow she is so used to the adrenaline, or she's used to the chaos, or she's used to the training, or she's used to things being tough for her, or her having to compete with others, or having to be the best. Everything is a competition for her. Everything is a competition. And if there's no one to compete around, I'm going to compete with myself. So I think that is really tough to be around her, you know, because you have to be a very special someone, probably someone very empathic, someone that is or the opposite of hers, you know, someone very very sweet, very sensitive, to be able to open her heart, help her open up, because she has so many emotions. Um, and with the Ace of Cups, you know, the keyword of reverse, you know, somehow, you know, she is going through this transformation. Maybe, you know, she's starting to feel much more sensitive than usual. And she's starting to realize, like, I guess life is not so much about competition. I guess I can slow down a bit. It's just that I think that probably this sort of resolution or reflection, it can come out when she goes through a reverse, or when she goes through a breakup, or when she loses a friend, or when she has to go through some kind of transformation in her emotional world, because I think that she's so immersed in this mentality. I would say that she has the mentality of a warrior, of the mentality of like a sergeant, you know, a sergeant, a military person, you know, someone that is like, you know, I cannot sit down. I have to be standing on my feet because, you know, I have to do this and I have to, and you know, the Nine of Wands is like, because she takes pride in her past experiences. She's like, see, I told you we will make it. It was tough, but we made it. So, you know, she has a sort of pride in, look how difficult it was for us. And we made it. And I made it. I survived. You know, I'm strong. But actually behind all those, you know, those tough person kind of vibe, there's a very sensitive person. And probably there's a lot of emotional needs that hasn't been met. And maybe this creates like issues in her relationships with others, because she doesn't know how to open up. You know, every time she touches a sensitive subject, or someone brings up something very very deep and personal of hers, she hides. She hides behind obligations, or she hides behind, no, I have a list of things to do, I have to go, or oh no, I'm busy, or oh no, you know, I cannot do this today because I have to do this that is so important and is so, you know, I think that maybe she needs either of a partner or a really good friend, someone that is like a water sign, that can help her to, like, you know, let's get rid a bit of these, you know, of these ones, of these, you know, of all those things that somehow help her at some point remain strong. You know, these are like, you know, wounds of the past, you know, everything that she had overcome. But this also created a sort of a barrier between her and her ability to open up and be vulnerable and love, and like let yourself be loved. Like, you know, drop the weapons. Drop the weapons. You're here to love and to be loved, and you want to be loved. Just stay in the moment, you know, receive the love, receive it, receive it. You just have to be present. You don't have to show any medal, nor award, nor diploma. You are enough. Let yourself be loved. She has such a voice, and I think that this is someone that probably, if you try to push her to open up, she can fight you. She could probably punch you in the face if you want to, like, come on, let's, you know, let's get vulnerable. And she's like, no, no, no. And she could get violent if you push it. This is why it has to be, you know, someone that is gentle, someone that knows how to, guide her. It's like dancing with her. She's tough. She's tough. Yeah, the Queen of Cups. She has the potential of being this very loving, motherly, sweet, also leader. She can be a leader, be a vulnerable leader, being just very compassionate, sweet, gentle, no fighting, no, there's none, you don't need to go running anywhere. Just stay in the moment, be present for the people that you love, and just, calm down a bit. You deserve love. You deserve love. Mm. Okay, let's see Jennie. Let's see Blackpink Jennie. Let's see for her how she's doing energetically these days. Let's see what queen she gets. Okay. Mm. Okay. Okay, for Jennie, we have the Queen of Swords. This is the queen that represents her today. Queen of Swords. Then, how she displays this energy. We have the Chariot and we have the Emperor. Take up space. So for her this Queen of Swords has helped her to develop her own identity, and maybe her own individual brand, her own individual work. It has somehow helped her like assert her dominion over what she wants to show and advance in her career. So I think that this Queen of Swords is like very beneficial for someone like Jennie. And what she has available, if she would want to integrate another kind of queen in the future, we have the Queen of Cups. That is also part of her. Yeah, I think that honestly, the Queen of Swords for Jennie is somehow it makes sense. There's sometimes when we talk about Jennie, we often see not the Queen of Swords, but we see the Page of Swords, we see the Knight of Swords. Sometimes when I read for Jisoo also, in certain things, maybe dynamics or relationship with others, it seems like she always comes as this very sharp and somehow a person that has to have the receipts ready, or she has to be informed, or she has to be somehow mentally prepared for whatever comes her way, and the Queen of Swords is this sort of queen that has learned to master her own mindset. I think that for her individually, it had represent a lot of advances. She's very intelligent. I think that every step that she does is because she wants to. She's like, I have to keep advancing. But I think that the Queen of Swords is also this queen that is a bit, cold and detached. She probably doesn't listen to, whatever people are saying. She avoids, getting into her feelings. This is why on the other end we have the Queen of Cups, because I think that she's like, for the kind of work that I do and the reception that I usually get, that, is the haters and the criticism and people being awful online. I think that she was able to somehow, with her intelligence, and with the swords, here we have the sword that is like a katana, to be able to cut through all the BS, and what doesn't work for me, I will cut it. I will remove it from my life. I will cut it. I will remove anything that gets in my way, anything that doesn't help me to grow, to advance, I will eliminate it. This is about me. This is a me moment. And I think that it had helped her immensely in her career. You know, we have the Chariot and we have the Emperor. That is a take up space. So for her, it's all about, you know, dominion. It's about advancing. I think that she's like, you know, if I were more sensitive or if I were more like ignorant to what I can do with my intelligence, I would lose it all. So somehow the Queen of Swords is like, you know, I have to educate myself. I have to study more. I have to do more research. I have to prepare myself more. I have to read more. I have to, I don't know, meditate more. I have to sharpen my mind. For now, I don't allow the emotion to enter because I have to keep advancing. And again, with the Emperor take up space. Remember when I read for her, I think that it was last year for Capricorn season, she also got the Emperor. And I was like, you know, she has to go back to show this powerful, assertive Jennie. You know, and then, you know, we got this creation of hers, or this song of hers, that it has her name, that is like, you know, this song that is called Like Jennie. You know, somehow, even if people are like, oh my God, she wrote, I mean, she has a song that she talks about herself and how you should be like her. Yeah, this is the Emperor energy, being like, instead of talking about heartaches and I'm so sad and I'm a sad girl and I'm so heartbroken, take up space, reclaim your name. Because since everyone talks about you, because this is a reality, everyone talks about Jennie. Jennie's name is in everyone's mouth, you know, at the end. So I think that what she did with this, she created, you know, she created art around that, around that people are all the time trying to get in her business. So it's the Emperor again. It's like, you know, I'm going to keep advancing because I have to be intelligent. I have to be strategic. I will not be able to survive if I'm not able to do that. So yeah, I think that for her, you know, she is probably she has become a bit cold and a bit, you know, a bit like, you know, learning to maybe not hear or being selective about certain reactions, you know, and people being like, oh my God, she's not responding to this. Oh, she used to be so sweet and now she's like this. Yeah, because she is in the Queen of Swords. She's like, no feelings in here. I'm not crying for anyone. I'm just working. I'm creating my empire. So I don't know. I don't know what you guys are doing, but I'm just collecting information and creating because I have to keep advancing. It's my destiny to be this emperor. I have to take up space. I cannot be regular. I have to take up space. I have to build my empire. I have to build my endeavors. I cannot stop working. I have to keep advancing, even among the hate and everything that comes her way. But yeah, the Queen of Cups definitely, you know, is a part of her. Is a queen that is available, and definitely this doesn't mean that the Queen of Cups is something that she can like, okay, show to the public. But maybe, you know, the Queen of Cups is this sensitive, you know, maybe more poetic, more sweet and delicate and vulnerable part of herself, you know, even a bit intuitive, that she can, you know, express when she feels that she is in the right moment or with the right people. You know, somehow the Queen of Cups is like, you know, you are also very sweet. You are also very loving. She's such a sweet person. She's a sweet person. It's just that, you know, for the kind of work that she does and what she has to face every day, she has to be like this. She cannot show this because people, you know, would tear her apart if she would show this, you know. So, but she could, use this Queen of Cups, maybe to be a mentor for others, I don't know why I feel like she could be a great mentor for other women, because she went through a lot. And I think that she has a great speech. The Queen of Swords is also very intelligent. So I think that if she wanted to be like a sort of mentor, or give, certain speeches, or to create like a foundation for women, or to be like an ambassador for very important and sensitive topics, humanitarian maybe, she could actually attract a lot of people, because she's always going to be a boss. It's just that, yeah, it's challenging. Okay, I'm going to continue with Rosè. Let's see with Rosè. Queen. In this deck, she got another queen. Oh my. Okay, for Rosè. We have the Queen of Pentacles for her, for Rosè. Queen of Pentacles. We have, in here, it would be like the Magician, but in this deck, it's called the Sorceress. It's a woman. The Sorceress. And from the other deck, we have the Queen of Cups, that is a sensitivity. And then what queen she could integrate that would also be very beneficial for her in the near future is the Queen of Cups. So she got the Queen of Cups twice. So again, another person that, I think that maybe, this Queen of Cups that come as the second option, I think that it could mean that, it's not necessarily that they have to show it to the public, but maybe, to express it in another kind of setting, or with a very selective audience that can appreciate, the sensitivity of the Queen of Cups. Because I think that probably there's something about the industry and the kind of queens that they got, that it seems like they cannot, if they would show a bit of, too much sensitivity, maybe, this could be, to be very vulnerable to the audience. Or maybe even considered weak or sensitive, and having that label and not being able to, remove that sort of association, maybe for another kind, like an actress, maybe, to be sensitive, like the Queen of Cups, it's much more like, oh, this is nice, because she would display emotions. But it seems like for some idols, it's better to show a more like stable upfront. Yeah, in the case of not Jisoo, Rosè, we have the Queen of Pentacles. And how she uses this is the sorceress, and we have the Queen of Cups. So I think that honestly she could show a bit her sensitivity in this state in her life, um because with the sorceress, with the card of the magician in female version, she has this mercurial energy, that probably she's really good at swifting from this very elegant and stable person, this Queen of Pentacles. That is very interesting, because actually I don't know if Rosè, I know she's in Aquarius, and her moon, I believe, is in Aries. So a Queen of Pentacles is actually very like different from what we think about her energies. But I think that probably it has to do with her permanence in the industry. Um, Maybe there's something about Rosè that she's represented here by this Queen of Pentacles, that maybe people are like, she had always been stable, or she had always been seen as trustworthy. Maybe there's something about the way she shows herself to the public, or the way her career had been built, that is not about like, oh, here I am, with this strong magnetism and this strong presence, and like, here I am and I'm here to shine. No, the Queen of Pentacles is a bit much more like, much more like proper, like, modest. And it's like, yeah, but also the Queen of Pentacles is someone that is very proud of what they possess. So maybe, she's not that flashy when it comes to her achievements. There's something about her achievements, or the way she expresses her growth in the industry is not that like in your face, like, oh, look at me, everyone adores me. But she's consistent. There's something as the Queen of Pentacles that maybe, for Rosè's career, maybe the fans and the audience see her as this Queen of Pentacles, this member, maybe even in Blackpink, that she has always been stable. Whatever her role is, or whatever she decided to do or to participate on when it comes to the group or the activities, she represents this stability. She represents even this status. The Queen of Pentacles is also very fancy, is very, elegant, is very, but I think that is this sort of elegance that, or this sort of like prosperity and abundance that she's like, she could be dressing, with a very modest kind of wardrobe, and she would still look like royalty. She would still like, you would see it and you would like, oh, there he goes, she's rich, or she's worth millions. I don't know. I think that she has this very quiet, sort of luxury, or she's luxurious, or there's something. But the thing is that people trust Rosè. There's something about people seeing her maybe a bit more grounded than the others when it comes to energy, or even character. The Queen of Pentacles is someone that you admire, because you're like, she even though things happen, she always remains calm. She remains in her, in her energy. She's not bothered or out of control. She seems very collected. She seems very wise. She doesn't have to be wild, jump around that much, and she's consistent. Whatever she delivers, she's very consistent and very hardworking. So, maybe, yeah, this Queen of Pentacles, it talks about the respect that people have for Rosè. This is not to say that people don't respect the other Blackpink members, but maybe there's like a quiet, there's something about her, the energy that she exudes, that you are like, wow, like I really respect her because she has that something, that maybe, um, she doesn't do that much promotion, but when she releases something, there's like this very stable outcome or numbers. She's very consistent, and I think that people love this of her. Somehow, maybe it's the kind of work that she does for when she creates something that people trust her. They really they know that they're going to receive something of praise, but it seems like this. But yeah, with the sorceress and the Queen of Cups. I think that she's also yeah. She writes her own songs, talking about feelings, sensitivity, heartaches, disappointments, bad relationships is actually, her niche. I think that she should continue to get into this, explore this part of the sensitivity, because she probably has, or either she has the style, or she's a great storyteller that is very entertaining. It's very entertaining. The sorcerer also, um, sorceress, is very intelligent. So I think that she has, the potential to attract different kind of people. But probably, her key element, or what she does good, is to reflect how she feels, or to talk about emotions. I think that, this is something that it feels very deep and personal. And also, the sorceress is someone that has many talents, so probably she's really good at a lot of things. It's just that, you know maybe from time to time she asks for other people, like, oh, can you help me, or can you do this with me? But I think that she is like the mastermind behind a lot of her success. It's just that, as the Queen of Cups, um, she maybe sometimes is very sensitive, and there's something about her not daring to do things alone, or maybe there's something about her really needing someone to be like, this that you created is totally worth it, so let's do something about this. I think that she needs, she's great at creation. Probably at execution, she doubts herself very much, because she's very sensitive, maybe to criticism or maybe to exposure. But this is why I remember when I read for her before, she launched this, um, collaboration with Bruno Mars. And I seen him in the reading. Actually, I didn't say like it was him, but I see a man. I seen someone, influential, working with her. And I seen that he was the one pushing it. He was like, if we are going to collaborate, we have to do this now. We have to release it now, because otherwise I don't have time. I don't have time to do it in another time. And probably there's something about her, when she has to release something, she needs someone to push her and being like, it's now or never. Because she sometimes doubts in the process, of deciding. She doubts. She needs someone to push her, Um, and yeah, the Queen of Cups, I think that at the end she's going to, I think that she's already integrating in her songs her sensitivity, or her tendency to be sensitive or talk about matters of the heart. And I think that at the end, getting in touch with this sensitive side is actually really good for her, because actually she is, I don't want to say unstable, because the Queen of Pentacles, yeah, is successful, yeah, is fancy, yeah, is respected. Everyone thinks that you do everything perfect, that you are, very trustworthy, that you're always there. But, it's also very tough to sustain, um, the Queen of Pentacles, sort of like body language and this figure of like, yeah, I'm trustworthy, yeah, I'm hardworking, yes, like, I'm always here. And I think that there's something about her energy being very like flowy, very changeable. So the Queen of Cups for her, it would make more sense, if in the near future she allows to fully embrace this Queen of Cups and be like, guys, this is me. This is me also. I can also be changeable, sensitive, a poet, and maybe a bit erratic, but she loves to create. She really is. If she's like a storyteller, or I think that she's great. When she connects with emotions, she's great. Mm. Okay. I'm going to continue with the actress Jeon Yeo Been. Let's see what kind of queen she is. Okay. For the actress Jeon Yeo Been, we have the Queen of Swords for her. Queen of Swords. We have how she executes this energy and she uses it. We have the King of Pentacles. And we have the Moon card. That is a shadow work. And then, the other queen that she could integrate in the near future that also is available for her if she wants to, expand her energy into other queen that can help her, the Queen of Pentacles. Lot of Pentacles. Like the Pentacles are like, she probably has like a bad experience with earth signs, like with very like, structured people. Yeah, I think that the Queen of Swords, yeah, definitely this is a woman that I know she's a Leo. Someone said that she's a Libra. She's not a Libra. I know she's a Leo. But there's something about her also, the Queen of Swords, for me, it sort of resonates with someone that yeah, she's finally embracing this queen, this very intelligent queen. And I think that the last time I read for her, she also got the Queen of Swords. I don't know if it was for Leo season or if it was for some dynamic that I did for Korean actors, and she was included in that reading. But there's something about her also with the power of the sword, somehow being able to defend herself and speak her truth, and just show how intelligent she is, and show how that I think that she had always been intelligent. It's just that maybe she went through some kind of disappointment, or she was following other people's advices, and it wasn't that, um, that positive for her, or maybe her career or her image. So I think that the Queen of Swords is someone that, this is why we have, this sort of winter, sort of very, winter kind of energy, very cold, very detached, because there's something about her being like, in the past, I used to be very warm, or I used to be more open, and now I'm not. Now I'm like, this is me. Um, Embracing that. I think that now she has the intelligence or the clarity that maybe in the past she didn't have. She was sort of blinded to something. Um, this could also mean her maybe going through some transformation, or could it be some legal problems or something like this, or something about contracts, papers. But I think that there's something about her being like, now I'm very well informed. Now no one can fool me. Like, I know what I'm choosing today, and I speak up. Every time I don't like something or I don't agree on something, I say it. I state it out loud. I say it. And I don't wait for others to speak for me or to mediate for me. I say what I want to say, or I communicate what I want to communicate. And I think that this is very interesting because I see a King of Pentacles, and this is why I'm like, did she have issues with earth signs in the past, like Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn? Because I have a King of Pentacles in here. I have a King of Pentacles, and I have the Moon card that it says shadow work. Shadow work. So I think that in the past she had she has dealt with, very, especially men in the industry, being very stubborn, very unflexible, very old fashioned. Like, oh, I know about the rules. I will, I will speak, or I will do this because I know. Somehow trying to lecture her. It could also be her relationship with men in general, not just with the industry, but it could be authority figures like a father, people very rigid, that somehow, whatever they say or they express is like, I know better, because things had always been like this around here. So I know. So I think that for her, this sort of triggers, a bit like, nothing. I'm also well informed. I'm also, I have two pair of, like, I have two eyes. Like, I can read. I'm a very educated person myself. I know about the world. I know about a lot of things. So I think that she had to become this queen of swords, because she has to be fast mentally in order to respond back or to reply back to this kind of very condescending men. um, and she meets these people. It's like it's not that she selects them, but it seems like they enter her way, and she's like, it seems like a lot of men are like this in the industry. It could be different people, different names, different faces, but their attitude is the same. Is this very old-fashioned, like almost like grandpa behavior, even if they're people of her age and younger. But because they're men, there's something about them trying to lecture her about things. And this is why, she's like, you guys are full of BS. I am very intelligent myself. I know what is up. I know what is going on. I know what, um, so there's something about her having to carry the intelligence always, of the ability to respond back. She cannot remain hush around these people, because if she does it, it's like a symbol of like, oh, they have the power, or they will make all the decisions for me. So this is why the Queen of Swords has learned to rise up her voice and voice up her opinions, because there's these men that are awful. And with the Moon card, shadow work, this is why I'm like, she could actually be a bit like traumatized by them. Be like, why do I always meet the same people? Why do I always end up working with the same guy with the same mentality? Different guy, but same mentality, like the mentality of the old times, and she has to, um, you know, adapt. I don't think that is fighting, but I think that she has to show that she matters. Maybe also, I don't know about her work, but maybe if she works in something, maybe the male co-star or the male whoever is like, they talk more about his work and not so much about her work or her part or her role. So she has to, somehow speak up and maybe, have more interviews, maybe, have more exposure. But yeah, don't hide in the shadows, because it seems like these people are here to provoke her or to provoke a reaction out of her. She's like, oh, I know this kind of men. I've seen this kind of men before. Why do they always appear in my mentors? Why do I always have to work with people like this? Not modern, they're always very old fashioned, very privileged also, probably people that they have, maybe they have more fans, or they have, and she's like, I have to show that I'm also important, that I'm also worthy to be here, that it's not like, oh, he's the star and I'm just, a peasant in here. But yeah, the Queen of Pentacles is what she has available, she wants to integrate in the near future. But yeah, the Queen of Pentacles is also, I think that in her case, it's also about a status. And I think that the Queen of Pentacles is like, after you've done the work, learn to stop and appreciate what you had work on, because she's very hardworking. She definitely does all the work, she's very consistent. She's so intelligent. It's just that the Queen of Pentacles is like, appreciate yourself more. Appreciate what you had earned. Don't look at the others. Don't look at these people that this seems like it's a deja vu, that they always appear to annoy her somehow. Or maybe there's favoritism, and this is why, she's like, again. But the Queen of Pentacles is like, you are mature and you had done the work. So, value yourself more. It's like, just value what you have, honor it, embrace it, hold on very tight to your winnings, or to your what you created or what you participated on. Just, hold on very tight to this, and don't let anyone destabilize you. Don't let anyone remove you from your center. The Queen of Pentacles is also this ability to be secure in the now. Don't let emotions, nor negative thinking, nor perceptions, nor what others say, don't let them, move your affect your energy field, your matter, your body, your now. Don't let them enter into this realm of yours. Take care of your body. Take care. Be selective. Stay. Don't let anyone move you off here. You have been working very hard, and you deserve peace. You deserve stability. Not all the time being, like the Queen of Swords, all the time with the swords up, just in case someone comes to provoke me or say something about me, or like, no, you can be like the Queen of Pentacles. You can be chill as well. You can be proud. You can be in silence if you want to. Enjoy the nature if you want to. But she's she also has like a trajectory. So I think that there's something about, the Queen of Pentacles being like, I'm here. Just in case, you want to learn to, value what you have right now, and don't go crazy for what others say, what others do, or how they impact you, or if they are here to criticize you. You stay wherever you are and be confident, and don't let anyone move you from there. So yeah. Yes, that might be the majority of men in Korea, unfortunately. Yeah, It's very obvious actually in the readings. Yeah. It's very obvious that the men, they even earn more money than the women, maybe. Or there's something, I think that there must be something very like, oh, I worked really hard in this, I participated, I did my best, and all everyone is talking about is this person's abs, and or how hot they look in this scene. And she's like, what about me? What about what I, But yeah, I think that it sounds unfair. Like, it's annoying. She's Leo Santoros moon. Yeah, the Queen of Pentacles was talking very loudly to her. Was like, remain in the center. Like very zen, don't move. Hold on very tight. You have done great. Hold on very tight to your achievements. Okay, I'm going to continue with Ningning aespa. Aespa Ningning. Well, I know Ningning is a Libra, so it makes sense that she got the Queen of Swords. Very opinionated, very opinionated. In her case, I can feel it. I can feel it. She uses the air element. She uses it. It's not so much of like, oh, I have to observe, and plan. No, she says it. She's very loud, very talkative. We have how she executes this. We have the 5 of Wands, and we have the Temperance. That it says, just breathe. Just breathe. There could be a lot of conflict for what she says. Or she could start, like, steer the pot, say certain things that could move a bit certain things or dynamics. But yeah. Then we have, the Queen that she could incorporate if she wanted to in the near future. We have the Queen of Cups. She's a softie. Inside, she's sweet. It's just that, again, when we talk about the Queen of Swords, the Queen of Swords, I have to be smarter. I have to learn my lines. I have to, collect the information, remember things, does she know? She's very intelligent. Does she know different languages or something like this? Because I think that she's like, I think that there's something about Ningning that is very interesting, because I feel it like she learns things, or maybe she, incorporates activities or new knowledge without telling others that she's learning something new. And I think that this is her strategy. Her strategy is like, there's not enough room for, like, there's plenty of room actually for new knowledge. So I will acquire it all. She's very savage. Also talking about Savage the song, but when I see the Queen of Swords for someone like Ningning, I feel it literally that for her is the power of speaking up. I don't know about Ningning nor aespa dynamic, because I don't watch their content, so I don't know the way she communicates or how she talks to others. But I wouldn't be surprised if she was the one that probably says something on camera, or she says something to one of the members, and this sort of like starts a conversation, a dynamic, something unexpected. But she is someone that is ready. She's ready with the swords. Like, she will very quickly answer you back, or she's ready. she's ready. This woman, you will never not catch her ready. She's like very, and she feels very Libra also, in the sense that she has no bias. O sea, she has no preferences. You can be her best friend and the other one her enemy, but when she starts, somehow like spilling the tea, it can go to anyone. If she starts spitting, like certain truths, it can go to whoever wants to take it. Because I think that for her, she could be a bit controversial with what she says as well. I don't think that she gets into trouble because, the Queen of Swords doesn't apologize for what she says. She's like, well, I stated the obvious, or I said what I perceive in the moment. I thought that there was truth, or that was my truth back then. That was my perception. I don't know about you guys, but this is what I think. I could be wrong. But she's very savage. She's very playful also. Her energy feels like, I just say whatever. And sometimes she says whatever. But she's like, maybe, in her group, the other members, there's a lot of susceptibility. So maybe she says something, it's like someone that throws, a piece of evidence or a fact or something. She says something, and because maybe the others are very sensitive to comments, it's like someone will grab it. Someone will grab it and will be like, oh, but I'm not like that. I'm not like that. Or why did you say that? We're not like that. Like someone will jump. Someone will jump and will take it and will appropriate it. And she's like, wow. She's like, I didn't know you felt like this. For her, it's like gymnastics. She just says, she throws the line and she's like, well, let's see who catches it. And someone always catches, especially someone that feels a bit like sensitive, and they will always catch it. Or they will always be like, why did you say that? What do you mean by that? And her being like, I was just being funny. She's so intelligent. She's so intelligent. But yeah, this could create chaos in the group. I can see it. I can see it here with the Five of Wands. With the Five of Wands, I think that there's something that at moments there could be a certain tension or certain chaos that you're like, Ningning is always in the middle. Every time something happens, it's always her in the middle, or it's always her like somehow, adding something to the fire, and she like it's like, whoa, she froze in there the bomb, and then she goes and runs away. So it's so funny. It's so funny. But I think that she I don't want to say that she enjoys the chaos, but I think that is she the magnet? Is she the youngest one? I don't know how old she is, because there's something mischievous about this. There's something about, like I do this because, I'm bored, or they give me permission, or they give me the room to do this. So for me, it's like, it comes naturally. It's just that, where does she have her Mercury? Because I think that there's something about Ningning somehow saying things, and sometimes they come true, even if it's like a joke, or if she states something, she says something, and it ends up being true. So she's like a sort of like psychic. Like, I think that she doesn't try to do this like this, but whatever she says, there's a hint of truth in what she says, even if it comes out as a joke. It's like she creates this balance in order to balance people. It's very odd, but she's like, it's like, I bring disorder so we can I disorganize things so we can organize them again. It's like, I disassemble the puzzles and I throw away, and I remove all the pieces so we can, assemble them back together. For her, it's like an exercise of union, I would say, of union, of like, because I know that the others are going to react. So somehow it's like a dynamic kind of therapy, kind of resolution of maybe incompatibilities at some point. It's always her though. It seems like it's always her, the one that initiates. Yeah, because we have the temperance. It says just breathe. So there's an element of healing in what she creates, in the chaos, or maybe in the fighting that or disagreements that could come out. She's like, in this, then I somehow teach you guys that you were too uptight or you were too serious about this. You just have to breathe. It's not that serious. Just breathe. Just breathe. Just breathe. So it's like she brings conflict so they can resolve it. Or maybe she senses that maybe there's members that they are very uptight, that they are very tense. There's something about maybe yes, the group popularity, or the members feel very responsible, or there's a lot of rules, or there's a lot of regulations, so they get very tense, or maybe the atmosphere among them is very tense. So somehow she is the one that brings this sort of conflict, or she brings something so she can move this dynamic and somehow unblock this stiffness that it feels in the air, that you cannot move because someone will scold you or someone will tell you something, and it's like you're living all the time like this. And no, it's like, relax guys, move, relax, just breathe. It's not that serious. You are capable, you are able to relax and just laugh. It's not that serious. It's not the end of the world. The Queen of Cups for her, there's this sweet part of her. I would say that she really cares for the members. There's something about her being very motherly, like, she has a very, caring energy. She's very, under all that, savage, responses, or, her, it seems like she's always like, on defense, somehow waiting to, sound witty or respond fast, or being very analyzing everything, every single move, and being very calculative. I think that she has the potential of becoming this very sweet motherly figure. It's just that, she cannot help but to see that maybe there's moments where the other members feel like they are under a lot of stress and they are not really good at talking about it. So I think that for her is like, why don't I do something? Like, why don't I bring something to the dynamic so somehow I can shake up things a bit and we can unblock this very strong feeling of like, not everyone is having a good time and there's a lot of silence and there's a lot of awkwardness, and I cannot be like this. I have to make it fun. So let's unblock, the what is in the middle. Mercury in Libra. Yeah. But she's very caring. She's not. She doesn't do it, with. It's just that she feels that she's like, like, this is why I'm wondering if she's like the youngest, because it feels like she's the one that you know, everything that she's like absorbing, it feels like she's the one that catches it at the end. You know, she's the one that notices, you know, there's something wrong here. So she tries to change that. Mm. It feels like the young child in the house, yes. Okay, the last one I'm going to read for Girls' Generation Taeyeon. Let's see. For Taeyeon. Ah, it's so cute. Okay, yes, for Taeyeon, we also have the Queen of Swords. What is going on with this SM artist, like female artist with the swords? The Queen of Swords for Taeyeon, how she uses this energy. We have the Nine of Cups. The Nine of Cups is so cute. Look at this woman with the baby. The baby and the 9 cups. A dream come true. The motherhood. The satisfaction. And we have the 8 of Pentacles. Hard work. Hard work. Now at this hour, I don't know if you can hear the birds singing. These are the same birds that they sing very early in the morning when the sun rises. And the other queen that she has, you know, to incorporate the energy she wants to, we have the Queen of Pentacles for her. So yeah, I think that definitely this is very Taeyeon, honestly. She has learned to. I think that also when I used to read for Taeyeon, I would often. I think I got in the Queen of Swords for her a couple of times. So there's something about her not hashing, you know, and not hashing anymore. You know, saying what she wants to say, being very fast also with her communication. She's like, you know, I will not wait for anyone to confirm anything. I'm going to be the one that delivers the news. Or if I have something to say about a certain situation, I will say it myself. I don't need anyone to speak for me. I can tell my side of the truth. I can tell my own story. I think that also, you know, experience in this industry had made her cold, you know, had made her more calculative, more serious, more, more cutthroat, probably, you know, about, you know, I think that this is someone that also she learned to be very well prepared when it comes to not just responding to certain, it could be, I don't know, legal papers, it could be, you know, the law, it could be about requesting, you know, her papers, her documents. You know, there's something about her also learning to be very, very diligent, very responsible when it comes to, you know, information about her. Or, you know, whatever belongs to her. It could also be like creation, you know, something that she created, something that she had written, you know, anything that belongs to her or has her name or her face. She's very, you know, very like straightforward about, like, I want that is mine, that belongs to me. She's also very intelligent, you know, she does her research. She also does her research. Her research about, I don't know if she's studying something. Does anyone know if Taeyeon is studying something, like a career, like a degree in something? Because I see her very intelligent. I think that she had always been intelligent, but because, I think that now more than ever, maybe she needs to learn a bit more about certain aspects of the business in order to keep up with information or maybe with technology. I think that she's also, the Queen of Swords is someone that doesn't wait, is someone that she's like, let me do it myself. I have to arrange my social media, or I will be in charge of, my passwords, or give me this, I will edit this myself. Somehow being like, when it comes to, ideas and just technology maybe, or scripts, something like this, that it has to do with communication or it has to do with information, she's like, leave it to me, leave it to me. I will read about this, I will inform myself about this. But she also learned that this, exercising this kind of, independency when it comes to, let me do it myself, I think that it helps her to have more control over, maybe papers or over certain information. She's like, let me do this myself. I want to be in touch. I want to be in touch of what is being done with my image, with my content, where is this going? You know, I don't know if she was betrayed in the past when it comes to information or her own brand or something like this, because she's very much with the, with her eyes wide open, very much very vigilant, being like, okay, what are you doing? What is the next plan? Okay, what is this about? Asking questions, asking a lot of questions. Very much like, sort of like being in the middle of meetings, or being in the middle of arrangements. I don't know, just getting in the middle, getting in the middle, getting to work. I mean, like, okay, guys, can you give me an update? What are you doing? I need to know. I want to learn myself. So I need to know what is being done. What are you doing with this? Or how is this going? Give me updates. I want to know. I think that there's something that maybe in the past she somehow was, she was like distracted, and she was like, oh, maybe people were like, you don't have to look at this. We will deal with this. This is not, since you are the artist, just go and sing, and we will take care of this. And then, the arrangement was very, very bad arranged, or it had a lot of errors. Probably it affected her or her image or her plans or what she wanted to create. So I think that this is why she's somehow after people. She's like somehow being like a manager herself. I mean, like, okay, what are you doing here? Okay, and how does this work? And asking a lot of questions, because she's like, I have to be this inquisitive. I have to be. The Nine of Cups and the Eight of Pentacles. And I think that it has given good results. The Nine of Cups and the Eight of Pentacles, it talks about her work. It talks about how she feels much more satisfied with how she has been working lately instead of previous years. Maybe her being independent, or her, handling certain things herself. She feels better like this. She feels like she's able to, maybe the outcome, it resonates more with her idea. There's something about her being like, yes, this is what I wanted. This is what I always wanted to achieve, and the company never gave me this. This is why I think that for her to be involved, to be insistent, to be part of the process is very important. It's very important because she doesn't plan to stop working. It's just that she comes to a level of devotion. She's also very much into the details. But the Nine of Cups also talks about, that she is a very recognized artist, that, people recognize her for, the good vocals, the wonderful songs, the good image, maybe her reputation. So I think that this is why she's like, I want to give the people an amazing experience. She sees the fans as clients, you know, she's like, I want to give them the best experience ever. So, you know, this is why she's so in the middle. This is why she's so insistent. This is why she's like, I don't mind to work extra hours. I don't mind to help you guys do this, but we have to achieve a level of perfection. I want things to be perfect. And I'm sorry if I'm annoying, but I need to be in this, because she's like, you know, I want this level of, you know, satisfaction. I want to be satisfied with this product if it's going to have my name and my face in it. So, and she's so happy. She's so happy. And there's a lot of work. There's a lot of things to do, but she's happy. She's happy because she's finally able to see it. She's finally able to, you know, to be like, oh wow, this, you know, this came out right. This was what I wanted. You know, this was what I wanted. And the Queen of Pentacles, you know, as the last card, as an advice for her, I think that it's also very meaningful because I think that another artist also got these two queens, and I think that is very, it's very nice when the Queen of Pentacles, you know, somehow comes on at the other end, like an invitation for you to integrate her too, because the Queen of Pentacles invites you to slow down and see the fruits of your work, your labor, you know, embracing that you have built security for yourself, that you have done the work, that you are respectable, that people see you as trustworthy, that people see you as hardworking, that you are really like a symbol of status, stability, you know, someone that has like, you know, good taste, good manners, you know, that you are someone that you had earned, you know, this sort of place in the industry, and that you are known for delivering great products, great outcomes. So the Queen of Pentacles invites you to, you know, just slow down, drop a bit the swords, you know, just remain in the silence or the silent confidence of knowing that you've done the work, and just rest, you know, sit in your throne, reassured that you got it, that you got the perfect outcome, because you have been working for this for a very long time, and that the stability is yours. It's not going to go anywhere. The stability is yours. Just embrace it. Don't chase it. Embrace it when you have it. Embrace the now. Embrace what you have now, because you have plenty. Sometimes, you know, the Queen of Swords, the Queen of Wands, you know, they're all about action, reaction, action, reaction. So they forget sometimes to slow down and just, you know, stay and observe what you created. That it's a lot. It's a lot. You know, breathe. Don't forget to breathe. Mm. Mm-hmm. No wonder everyone leaves. Yeah. Suho is also a leader and great vocalist that are very bad treated in SM, unfortunately. Yeah, SM is the worst. And I hate it because my biases are in there. My favorite group is in there. So, but what can I say? I love their songs. I cannot help it. I wish I could tell you like, oh well, I'm going to stand another group. No. And look, NCT went through a lot of scandals and things, but I will support them till the end, until, you know, they are no longer a group, or until something, I don't know. But I think that I will always be an citizen you know, because I love them. I don't know why or how. Um, when this became became my favorite group that I defend so much, so fiercely, like without hesitation. But yeah, for me they are. Um, yeah, NCT. I love Mosaics as well. And Hypen, I do love Hypen. I don't want to say it too much out loud, well, because what if the the fans come for me? Like, but I love their music. Um, P1 Harmony also, I like it. I like their music. Um, but yeah. Ah, mm, yes, same. My favorite group, EXO, is there, even though half of them left by now. Yes, yes, NCT is fully my yes. What's your favorite Hypen song? Um, I like the last one. It's not the last one, but no doubt. Um, I like all of the songs, like EXO, um, um, Fever. Like I like all of them actually. Um, I like all of them. Even the first one that it was Days and Dane. Was it the first one they released as a group? It's very catchy. It's a shame that it lasts, like it's very short, but I like it. Like it's the kind of, the other day I was like, it came on my playlist, and yeah, I'm like, how come they have these great songs? I'm like, you know, pass the mic, yeah, those, yes, future perfect, yes, yeah, that I remember that it says pass the mic, yeah, but I think it is future perfect. um and the last one, how is it, the last one, is it obsession? Not obsession, but the lyrics said with or without you. That one is so cool. They have great music, like I just love it. I just love it. I love their sounds. um I cannot think of a song that I don't like of theirs. Drunk Days. Another fun. Bad Desire. And mm. I don't know who my bias is in a hyper. I'm afraid to choose and just choose a bias in a hyper. I don't know if I said it. Probably, I don't know. Maybe in the live stream I did say it. Who my bias is in a hyper. I don't know. I don't want to say it because I'm not sure, but I don't want to say it because they're so young. They're so young. I wouldn't dare to say who is my bias in there, but they're all very cute. But I don't know. Who did you notice first? Sunghun? I believe Sunghun was the one that I noticed first. But then Jay is hilarious. I still remember him. This is it just him in the part of Island when he asked BTS members, about him having, these doubts about his appearance because there were so many, of his um, of the guys in there, that he thought that they were like really like more good looking than him. And when he asked for an advice about that, I just was laughing, because I was like, he was fine like that. I don't know why he felt so, like, but they were very young also, when they participated in there. Nikki was so tiny. Nikki was so tiny in Ireland. I remember. Baby, the baby. True, two young idols bias feels so wrong. Yeah. So what you said, that baby in NCT which is your bias? Ah, yes, Sakuya. Yes, Sakuya. Yeah, you're right. It doesn't have to be creepy. Yes, I watched Island last year and he was hilarious. Oh, it was gay? Ah, it was gay. It was gay. Oh, Jay was the one. He said that there was a clip of his that he was embarrassed about. And how does he overcome this feeling of embarrassment? I think that it was something like that. Jay asked how to deal with embarrassing moments. Yes, that one. Yes. And BTS told him to just embrace it. I think that that must be so difficult to do. Um, I don't know. I think that I wouldn't be able to survive that. Um, I once had this moment at work that, oh my god, I swear that I feel embarrassed by thinking about it. But um we were there was, because it was a retail, so they created this group of of people that you would be like the prevention for, in a case a fire starts, or something happens at the store that you have to evacuate. So they would pick, certain people that would really want to participate, and they would teach you, certain protocols about, like, okay, where if the lights go out because something happens, how would you react in the situation? And we had, certain role plays that we had to do. And we had a specific day before the store would open that we do this sort of simulation of what the situation, with some people hiding in corners. So we will have to go through certain areas and look for them in the dark, but we will have flashlights that, all of this, we will be like role playing as if you are somehow at work, you are working, you are organizing things, and all of a sudden, the lights go off, and and there's like a voice in the speaker, that they are telling you, okay, this is like, this is part of, the role play, you go get your things, and we had like a walkie-talkie in that moment, but mine wasn't working. It ran out of battery all of a sudden. I don't know, the one that they gave me, they ran out of battery. So yeah, I went to the place that I was instructed before, that in there I would have to get like a helmet, like this sort of flamboyant, sort of vest, that I would have to put on myself, and then I would have to get the flashlight, and then go and look for the people in my area, in my designated area. I would have to look, in the dressing room, in the deposit. I would have to go in there in the dark, because it was all in the dark. I only had the flashlight, and I would have to look if there was someone, hiding in there or pretending to be hidden. They do this as part of the exercise. So yeah, I would go and I would find someone in the changing rooms. So I would bring them out, and I would guide them to, okay, the next exit is in here. Go. and I would check if there was no one more to save. It would be. So I don't know how, but the the person that there was a security guard, someone that they were supposed to be waiting for me, and no, they left. They waited for the person that I sent to their side, and they left. So I was waiting for someone, to let me know, like, because I couldn't communicate with the radio. So, I would be there, and we had like 3 minutes to leave. Like, we all had to leave. You have to imagine this as if this was the store was, burning on fire, and you had 3 minutes to get out of the building. So I was left alone, and since I didn't see anyone on the floor, I was like, okay, I have to go. But then I forgot where were the exits, because the from where I'm supposed to be leaving, the person that left, the last one, they closed it, so I couldn't open it. So I had to find another way, and also because I was in the dark and there was no electricity, I couldn't use the elevator, so I had to go through the stairs. And the store is huge, and I never seen the store in the darkness. So I was rushing. I don't know how I did it. I entered through another deposit all by myself. So everyone was already out. I was the one inside. Well, I don't know how, the panic that I felt in my heart, but not because I was alone. It was because I was about to lose. We had 3 minutes, like, and we had a sort of penalty. If someone stayed, or if, in my case, I managed to get out, but I got out late. So it meant that I got burned in the simulation. I got burned because I got out late. But the level of embarrassment I had, because I was so excited to do this. You have no idea how I was so, like, when I had this sort of like, I was so excited to participate, because I wanted to do this, the role play. I was like, no one wanted to do it. I was so excited to do it. And then to be left like that in the darkness, like if this was my first simulation, oh, I was so embarrassed. My God, I think that I went through a whole week talking nonstop about this to my coworkers. They were like, "Yeah, we heard what happened. Yeah, you got burned. Yeah, you." But for me, it was such a big deal, because I was like, "How come you? First of all, you leave me alone. Like, you have, like, I know that I got the person out that was hiding, but you had to wait for me. Why did they leave without me?" Like, and I know that the person that was holding the door for the person that I sent, they were looking at me, so they knew that I was still in there. It's not that that they didn't see me. They knew. They just left. And also, well, another the bad thing is that the radio wasn't working. But they were like, the supervisor was like, "Oh, but we were like, talking to you through the walkie-talkie." Yeah, but it wasn't working. I couldn't hear you guys. So, oh no. Then I did it again, and I did amazingly. And then I won a recognition. I won like a gift card for my participation. I got over that, but I I cannot forget the moment of embarrassment. I got out of there. When you open the door and everyone was outside looking at me like, what happened with that person? And I got out like, like with all the hat and the helmet and the thing. And oh, I was so embarrassed, so embarrassed, so embarrassed. Like, I felt so bad, so bad. No, 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 no. Reliving the trauma. I swear, I was so embarrassed because I was excited to participate. I really wanted to give it my all, and I did give it my all. Actually, like we had a certain situation. We didn't have, like, thank God, we didn't have like, something happening in when it comes to the building burning or anything. But we did have, a situation with a machine that we had in there, that it was sort of like, it was smoke was getting out of this, and we were able to see it, and we called security and everything. I had the extinctor next just in case, but because we were dealing with clients and we didn't want to freak anyone out, I just, I called security right away. They came, and they um, they put it out. But this is why I think that for me it was really nice, because I learned how to be. This is why I think that sometimes, when we think about, you know roles or work that allows you to pay attention to things, because sometimes you observing something that maybe others cannot, or you having a certain knowledge, you can save a person's life. So, for me, it's always about, observation. And I remember when I signed up for that, my coworkers, they were all laughing. They were like, oh, if I was me, I would just leave the store, and if someone gets stuck, or gets, inside, I don't care. I would just run for my life. And I swear I wouldn't be able to do that. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm too empathic, or I'm too, but if I had the possibility to, before I leave, to check if there's someone, locked inside, or if there's someone panicking, like, if I can help someone, you know, because I have the possibility to know what to do, I would grab as many people as I can, you know before myself. Like, I think that I have that instinct of, before making sure that, that everyone is safe. um I just, I cannot, act like, oh, well, it's none of my business. Oh, no, 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 especially when it's something that the place better than the customer. The clients or the customers that they are walking by, maybe they are visiting, they have no idea where the exit is, and they're not here to see all those things. But if you're trained, and if you have been working in there, and if you don't know, you should pay attention. Yeah, I know. There's many people that think like that, but for me, I wouldn't be able to say it like no, no. I mean, it's not like you are going to get inside, a burning. But there's certain measures that you can take. For example, if someone faints, you have to make a space. Usually there's people that, when someone feels bad, there's a lot of people, like, go in, they are all inside on, like, near the person. Oh, what is going on? What is going on? But no one does anything. So if you are not going to be of help, move, get out of the way. That also I learned, to assist someone that probably, at my place, I had plenty of people that they were about to faint, because of the heat. There were people that they were feeling very bad because of the heat, because they were working long hours. I had, like, clients that they were, old people. So we would have to get them, check their pressure. So yeah, it's all about, it's part of the job to be present, because you can save a life. Mm, mm, hmm. Yeah, I think that But this is always to make space is the best. If you don't know what to do, just make room. For example, if we had people that they were like feeling bad or something like that, and I have other people that they are like, I know how to do this, and I know, okay, while you do that, and maybe I don't know what to do, but what I can do is contain the crowd, or being like, guys, can you step a bit aside, can you, there's just someone that tries to you know help not get in the way, because people are very, very gossipy. People just, and when you work at the store with a lot of people, you see all kinds of situations. I've seen a lot of situations while being a salesperson. But I've seen a lot. People fighting. I've seen a lot. So it's this is why I think that I know that that kind of work is not for everyone, because I would always be seeing people, always talking to people, like saying hi, and then that person leaves, and there's another one, and there's another one. But I don't know. I think that it was happy times. It was happy times, because when people are buying, they're happy. So at least I also seen people fight for stuffed animals. I see people fight, usually sometimes for the Christmas sales, and all those things, here in during Christmas or Children's Day, because of the sale of toys and specific toys, people like real like people would fight for a teddy bear, for a stuffed animal. I seen it. And I seen two ladies fight for a TV. So so yeah, it's like a lot of things happen. Yes. Mm. Yeah, it's just that's true. You never know how you're going to react. This is why, when someone is like, I'm going to leave, and I don't know about you guys, don't count on me, but I'm going to run. And that's valid also. I mean, I think that, unfortunately, in those moments that, sometimes you're like, I never get to find out. But sometimes, yeah, sometimes people in large crowds, or when their situation, sometimes the first response is that the person wants to save themselves. um, in my case, I would prefer to be, you know to have a bit of information about how to act, just in case something happened. That doesn't mean that is going to happen, but I'm like, I need to know, because instead of being someone that gets like blocked, or someone that gets like, I froze, I get frozen because I panic. That could also happen, that I panic, and I don't know what to do. That usually happens, when you see something happening to a loved one of yours. You're more likely to save a stranger, because you have that reaction, that if you see a loved one, maybe you paralyzed because of the fear, the commotion, and you stay in there, because it's not the same, seeing a loved one that seeing a stranger. um, but yeah, reactions can be different. Yes, this is why, when we had these courses, about rescuing people, they would always be like, when there's like a catastrophe or something, you always make sure, go and check, in the changing rooms, or on the deposit, because usually there's people that when they panic, they go and hide. They go and they make themselves like a ball, and they hide in the corner. and you have to get them. I mean, if they want to leave, of course, but you have to go and be like, come on, let's go and get them out of there, because on their own they're not going to come. They're not going to come out, because it's like a reaction. It's a reaction. It's a reaction of fear. Mm. But yeah, the instinct of survival is also running away. Yeah. Yeah. It's like that. You never know. It's like very unexpected. It's very unexpected. Oh, yeah, it's dangerous. Yes. Yeah, it's dangerous. Well, guys, I'm going to go. Thank you so much for keeping me company today. Thank you so much for the recommendations. But yeah, I'm going to go rest my feet. That I have my toe that is bothering me. But thank you so much, guys, for being here. And I'll see you on, what day is it today? Today is, sorry, guys, I'm so lost on what day of the week today is. Today is Wednesday. Okay, I will see you on Sunday. Okay, have a lovely week. Bye.